This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, September 26th, 2018. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. There was some excitement on Monday evening at the City Council meeting as two police officers rushed out of the City Council meeting to help the Maryland State Police in a chase that had entered the city. Now, just before 9 p.m. on Monday, a state trooper saw a Residence Inn shuttle van being operated in a dangerous manner on I-97 near Crownsville. The trooper tried to stop him, and the van kept on going. Now, he was going 30 miles per hour. The trooper got in front of him, deployed some stop sticks, which have the spikes, just before the Severn River Bridge. It disabled two tires on the van, but the van continued across the Severn River Bridge at about 5 miles per hour, turned onto Route 450, went past the World War II Memorial, back over the Naval Academy Bridge, mind you, doing 5 miles per hour, got down on Annapolis Street, and ended up coming to a stop just past Monterey. When asked to get out of the van, the operator, who was identified as David Diaz of Rockville, Maryland, refused. The Annapolis City Police Department was called in with their SWAT team, and after about a 90-minute standoff, he did exit the van and surrendered to police. He was charged with all sorts of traffic violations, as well as assault. He was brought to the Annapolis Police Barracks, transported to the court commissioner's office, charged, and released on his own recognizance. Back on September 17th at the Lakeshore Tavern in Pasadena, there was a scuffle around 10 p.m. where Anne Arundel County police officers responded. They found two men going at it, one an unidentified man, and the other was Sean Devin Floyd, 55 of Pasadena. When they arrived, they saw that the two men were being treated by paramedics for a possible overdose. And Floyd, once he was put into the ambulance, fought his way to get out and tried to exit the ambulance. When police intervened and told him to get back in the ambulance, he started to assault the officers. And according to a release, the officers were able to restrain the suspect and take him to the ground in an attempt to handcuff him. As the officers were handcuffing the suspect, he became unresponsive. Floyd was treated by paramedics and taken to Baltimore Washington Medical Center, where he passed away on Sunday. Police did say that a search of his vehicle found suspected PCP, which is now being tested by the Anne Arundel County Drug Lab. And the chief medical examiner's office did do an autopsy, and they did not observe any injuries that were consistent with causing death. However, they are waiting for toxicology reports before issuing a final cause of death.
Hey, hey, hey! It's Fred Albert! And I'm going to sing a
Bill Cosby was led off to prison in handcuffs yesterday afternoon. The former star of The Cosby Show, Jell-O commercial, Fat Albert, I Spy, was sentenced from 3 to 10 years behind bars for drugging and sexually assaulting a woman at his gated estate outside of Philadelphia. This punishment made him the first celebrity of the Me Too movement to be sent to prison. During the sentencing, Montgomery County Judge Stephen O'Neill said, "It's time for justice, Mr. Cosby. This is all circled back to you." Cosby's lawyers did ask that he be allowed to remain free on bail while he appeals his conviction, but the judge was incredulous over the request and ordered him locked up immediately, saying that he could quite possibly be a danger to the community. Earlier on in the sentencing hearing, the judge did declare Cosby a, quote, sexually violent predator, which is a title that carries some legal ramifications, including monthly counseling for the rest of his life, and requires that neighbors and schools be notified of his whereabouts. Cosby must serve a minimum of 3 years before becoming eligible for parole. He will appeal this, but all in all, this looks like it could be a life sentence for once formerly loved comedian Bill Cosby. Speaking of formerly loved things, let's talk about the National Sailing Hall of Fame. Kelsey Peger from the Capitol is reporting now that we may be one step closer to sending the Sailing Hall of Fame to Newport, Rhode Island, a little bit later on tonight. This is when the Newport City Council will vote on how to divvy up the property known as the Armory, which is a 13,000 square foot property right on the water, which they are looking to sell to the National Sailing Hall of Fame for $1.6 million. Sailing Hall of Fame President Gary Jobson says they're going to take it one step at a time. They're going to digest it all. And he did note that 11 out of the 25 commissioners on the board are based in the Chesapeake Bay area. Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley said he believes the proposal to move the property to Newport may not go through. And in a dig to our own city council, he said, "The good news is Newport Council is similar to the Annapolis Council. There's a good chance that nothing is going to happen." There's the mayor making friends again. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan announced that state employees will now get 60 paid parental leave days after the birth of their child or the adoption of a child under the age of 6. The additional paid leave time is to be granted after the employee has used up his annual and personal leave time and can be used any time within the first 6 months following birth or adoption. The 60 days don't need to be taken consecutively. And in a statement, Hogan said, "We are maximizing flexibility for working parents, because being a new parent isn't just about being home for the first 6 weeks following your son or daughter's birth. It's also doctor's appointments, checkups, and other important needs in your child's early stages of life." Now, the new paid parental leave time is part of Senate Bill 859, and it does go into effect on October 1st. Chase Cook at the Capitol had a very sort of strange article. The headline blared, "Former county director working for Steve Schuh's re-election campaign." And it goes on to describe Nancy SCHRUM, who used to be the director for the Office of Constituent Services, working for the county executive's re-election campaign under the Maryland Republican Party. If she was still working for the county, that would be a problem, but she seems to have followed all the rules. County rules require that SCHRUM take a leave of absence without pay while working for the Maryland Republican Party, and Nancy SCHRUM took a leave of absence in June. She used up all of her leave and vacation time that she acquired, and she told the Capitol that she hoped her county job would still be available when she returns in November. So it seems to me like she vacated her position and is hoping to get rehired. Reasonable. A county official did say that SCHRUM's position is still being held open, and they expect her to return to that position after the election. All in all, it seems like she played by the rules, so I'm not quite sure what the story is. That is about it for the top news today. You want to make sure that you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day, because we do update it throughout the day. Please give us a recommendation to your friends and colleagues and neighbors. We would appreciate that. If you're downloading and subscribing to us, please give us a rating, give us a review. That would be helpful as well. And of course, you want to hang tight, because we have George Young with your local DMV weather forecast, and he is coming up in just a minute. Save the date, September 29th and 30th, to see Richard Karn. Yes, Al Borland from the hit television show Home Improvement at the Annapolis Home Expo.
I don't think so, Tim.
No, it's true. Richard Karn will be at the Annapolis Home Expo, and while Richard will tell you about what not to do with a home improvement, there will be dozens and dozens of real home improvement contractors to tell you exactly what you should do. Bring in an antique for a free appraisal. Listen to the many workshops to help you make your home into the dream home you always wanted. Thinking about selling or buying? Northrop Realty and Craig Northrop will be on hand to offer tips for staging your home and how to negotiate the waters of one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. It all starts on September 29th at the Byzantium Center on Riva Road, Saturday from 10 to 6 and Sunday from noon to 5. Tickets are only $5 at the door, but get this, if you're named Al or anything close or wear flannel, you're in for free. Remember the Annapolis Home Show, September 29th and 30th.
Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Wednesday, September 26th. The Annapolis area saw a little more scattered rain yesterday, marking something like the 15th or 16th day with measurable rainfall for the month out of 25 total days so far. So yeah, it's been another very rainy month on the whole, and will continue to be so, with more on the way today as temps climb a bit higher into the 80s, though whatever rain does fall will mainly be in the PM hours, and more likely the overnight hours into Thursday, which will be much cooler after a cold front moves through and delivers high temps of only 66 to 73 degrees. Then Friday gets a bit better, though there could be a few lingering AM showers with temps 70 to 75 degrees or so, but the weekend still looks pretty sweet with mostly sunny, dry skies, and temps low to mid-70s for highs. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great day out there. Be sure to follow us on our website at dmvweather.com, on social media at Facebook and Twitter, and on our app at DCMDVA Weather in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. But remember, whatever the weather outside, have fun and be safe.
September 29th, the inaugural Twist and Stout Festival at Quiet Waters Park along the shores of the South River. Twist and Stout, a Maryland wine, craft beer, music, food, and arts festival, presented by the Anne Arundel County Department of Recreation and Parks, along with the Maryland Wineries Association. Sample dozens of craft beers and Maryland wines, dance the afternoon away to the sounds of Saved by Zero and the Groove Spot Band. Watch the plein air painters and shop dozens of artisans, crafters, and food trucks. Tickets are on sale now at twistandstout.org. TWISTANDSTOUT.org. September 29th, Twist and Stout at Quiet Waters Park, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets at twistandstout.org. You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.